Huskies are taking on the Wrestling Big Reds. At 112 pounds, we have Sean Boyd from Big Red Country, and we have Jeff Blair from Port Huron Northern. It's a 112-pound weight class, and we're getting ready to rumble tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is for all of the crown and glory. Score is 2-0 in favor of Northern in this particular match. Once again, it's Jeff Blair for Northern and Sean Boyd for Port Huron High School. The other team involved in the city championship this evening is Marysville. Marysville defeated the Big Reds earlier in the evening. Jeff Blair Jr. is wrestling here tonight. Jeff Blair Sr. used to be a standout wrestler at Port Huron Northern. We saw him in attendance earlier this evening. Blair on top, trying to get that arm bar in there. See what he does with it now. Trying to get that arm locked and try to pull him over backwards. There he goes. He's working on it. Needs to get that chin on top of the shoulder, and looks like he's going to do that. He needs to get out on his toes. Once he gets that chin on the other side of the shoulder, this is looking better for his particular situation. Now he needs to put that chin right in the middle of his chest and press down. This is not the position he'd like to be in necessarily. He would like to be perpendicular if he were to do it more technically correct, but the wrestler on the bottom has a lot to say about that. He will probably get 3 back points. Yes, he does. So that will make the score 5-0 in favor of Jeff Blair of Northern. We have no team score at this time. This is the first match of the evening. Starting at 112-pound weight class, and we'll finish with 103-pound weight class. Blair tries what's called a gator roll. And now he switches, goes behind, 2 points. That makes it 7-0 at this particular match. We're in the second period with about 1:30 to go. Special thank you to E.J. Shea and Carl Staffhorst, our technicians and manager this evening. We sure appreciate all the hard work that they do. They kind of keep me straight and on the narrow and do all the things behind the scenes. Blair pretty much in control of this match. Wants to break him down so we can attempt to roll him over. Sean Boyd's not about to make that easy, but Boyd needs to launch some offense here, get his head up, get up on his base. Okay, nice job of doing that. Now he needs to make a move, maybe stand up. There he goes. And maybe get a single leg. Can he get a leg? Can he get a leg? No, not this time. Blair stretched out, and it looks like he's trying the far side cradle. Can he lock it out? No, he's going to want to pull him back towards him. You have a near side cradle, a far side cradle, stand up cradle. About 20 seconds left in this match, second period, 112 pounds. He's getting that half in there. Can he run it? Can he run it? He's going to try to run it. Nope, he backs off. So we'll go into the third period with the score 7-0. 7-0 in favor of Northern, 112-pound weight class. Let's see if he stands up on this one. Caution to the Big Red wrestler. wrestler. Blair stand up. Gonna Boyd ties him up. Boyd's a little high here. He needs to go through with that move or else he's going to be too high and off to the side. And Blair's going to pull his head through, and it's going to be a two-point reversal. You can kind of see it coming here. He's going to have to get back in position because the leg's loosening up. Just watch it, ladies and gentlemen. You can kind of see the way the momentum goes. It's just a lot of physics leverage involved in wrestling. Good recovery. It goes into that again. That's a dangerous position to be in because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't pull it off all the way. It's an all or nothing hold. Referee called a stalemate. Not enough action. Attempted switch there by Blair. There we go in again into what looked like it may have been an attempt to get the scissors, but Blair's head's probably going to pop out of here because the big red wrestler is just too high. And as we've talked before, watch the head. There it is. There's your reversal for 2 points. It looks so easy up here, and it's so difficult down there. This is the city championship for 2008-09. Can't quite see what's happening here. Now we can see a little bit. Looks like possible back points for Northern. Heard the referee calling it out. Gave him 2 points for that. Boyd had a nice recovery. But the match ends with a score of 11-0. So we'll move on to the 119-pound weight class, where it will be Cam Sebring for Northern and Mike Sanchez for Port Huron High. Mike Sanchez for the Big Reds, Cam Sebring for the Huskies. We now have a team score of 4-0 in favor of Northern. Sebring did very well in the Goodrich tournament, took third as I recall over the weekend. Outstanding futures wrestler, attended camp out in Iowa, former Dan Gable camp. Iowa, of course, really big wrestling country. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Texas, Iowa. There's a two-leg takedown. Let's see, does he get it? Yes, the referee gives him 2 points. Now he'll probably try to pull him back on the mat here. The referee says, nope, that's not going to work. Sanchez down for the Big Reds. Sebring on top for Northern. As a result of the takedown. Sebring rigging out for that wrist control. Wrist control is very, very important. Sebring trying that cradle, gives it up. Gonna go back. Can't see there. Okay, he's got an arm bar in there. He's gonna have him on his back here. This will be tough to get out of. But he does. Good hard work by Mike Sanchez at 119 pounds. The match score is 5-0 in favor of Sebring and Northern. Sebring had a potential cradle there. Crossface. Very competitive match. Sebring for Northern is down at the start of the second period as a result of the coin. Let's see what Sebring does. Will he stand up? Maybe he wanted to. Big Red Wrestler's very high. Let's see what he can do here. Big Red Wrestler probably doesn't want to stay here. It's very strenuous to say the least, but need some action here or they might get a stalemate call. See a lot of side wrestling. Watch the head pop up. There you go. There it is. The head kind of is a predictor. It's like the weatherman. You can almost tell what's going to be coming. So we get 2 more points for the offensive move. That makes it 7-0 according to the scoreboard in favor of Northern. Cam Sebring. See what Cam Sebring chooses to do here. Switching back and forth. Maybe get some more back points here. It's not where he wants to be, but it might be. It is. It's a pin for Cam Sebring over Mike Sanchez. So that will make the team score now 10 for Northern and 0 for Port Huron High School. We will move on into the 125-pound weight class where Willard Garrett, will be wrestling. Zach Harrison, Port Huron High. It's Zach Harrison for Port Huron High. Willard Garrett. You notice we had 2 referees in a championship match, ladies and gentlemen. You see 2 referees there moving around. There's a pin for Northern. That was very quick. Approximately 21 seconds for Garrett Willard. Scores 6 more points. Make the score 16-0. And for the Port Huron High School Big Reds, it should be Cody Willisek. That's Cody Willisek versus Tyler Snyder of Northern. And Tyler Snyder has him in a pinhold already with 2-point takedown. Let's see if he can get some back points here. Northern's coming out and really smoking. Tyler's in pretty good position here on this one. Got that arm in there appropriately. And good move by the Big Red Wrestlers. He's able to get back. We have time out here to get the headgear back on. Match score at 130 pounds is 5-0. So we'll start over here. This is Tyler Snyder for Northern and Cody Willisek for the Big Reds. Snyder attempting to do what's called a stack there. Going to try a gator, sometimes called a gator roll. Dangerous, but can be effective. He's got a nice intertwining of the legs there for a moment, gives that up. See what he chooses to do here. Can't see him from the front, so we'll just watch him from the back here and see what he does with his legs, if anything. So the Big Red Wrestler wanted to stand up. Always want to get back to your base. That's the fundamental of wrestling. You base and then stand up if you can, and that's exactly what he did. So that was a nice move by Cody Willisack for the Big Reds. Makes the score 5-1. Snyder shot, and now he's going to get possibly stacked. Let's see what happens here. Can't quite see what's going on. Who's getting the points here? It looks like Northern's going to get control. He gets three points. So that makes the score 10-3 in favor of Northern in his 130-pound weight class. Nice roll through by Tyler Snyder. Dangerous, but this one worked out as a result of going through it a different way. This is pretty tight. It's pretty tight. See what he can do with it. And nice move by Cody Willisack as he was able to escape that and get a point for standing up and escaping. And so that's 12-4. Willisack shoots, countered, go behind by Snyder. Roll through, come back up. See what he's got here, if anything. It's a good match. It's much closer than the score indicates. Willisack doing some good moves, attempting some things, being very offensive. He's got a single leg here, can lift, twist, and trip. See what happens if Snyder can counter. Very competitive match. And let's see, does he get one? Yes, he gets one, and he's got a shot at a single leg here. Goes to the close in single leg to the far side single leg. Snyder goes behind, but he could be too high. Referee says no points. Willisack still has that single leg. Can shake and bake him down. He might be able to do some damage here. And Big Red Wrestler takes down for the third period. The score is 14-5 according to the scoreboard. Tyler Snyder, Cody Willisack. Attempted switch. When you do those moves like that, you need to attempt at least to do them in rapid succession. If you just do one move and stop, usually there's a counter that will neutralize it and you won't be in a good position. But you need to do 2 or 3 moves in sequence. We just saw some good wrestling, some sequential moves there. Let's see what happens here. Willisack got a point for an escape. It's a score 14-6. Once again, much more competitive than the score. Let's see what happens here. Oh, didn't quite do what he wanted to do. Might come out of it okay. I guess he did, because he's got the good old-fashioned playground headlock in it, which has to have an arm inside, not just a head. So he's going to get some back points and the pin. So Tyler Snyder comes through with the pin for his team, which makes the score now 18-0. 22-0. And we move on into the 135-pound weight class. We've got Dan Boyd for the Big Reds and Spencer Olson for Northern. Kind of fell into that one. 2 points for a takedown for Dan Boyd. Once again, 135-pound weight class. Dan Boyd, the Big Reds. Spencer Olson for Northern, who's on top now with an arm bar. Got a leg lock in there. He's trying to get to the side. It's almost a figure four in the leg. And probably get some back points here. Don't know how many. Can't quite see it. Got the half in there. He'll run it backwards now. And let go of the leg, yes. And try to pull it in tight and get perpendicular. Big Red wrestler doesn't want to let go of that. There's the pin. There's the pin for Spencer Olson of Northern, 135-pound weight class. That'll make the score 28-0 in favor of Northern. We're in the 140-pound weight class, where we will have Robert Coleman for Northern. That's Coleman for Northern. And Jeff Mecklenburg. And Northern tries to roll. No points. Shoots a double leg, lift, twist, trip. There you go. 2-point takedown. That was picture perfect. Lift, twist, and trip. Down into a pinhold. That's a coach's dream and a wrestler's dream. And when you go to a takedown to a pinhold, it's an automatic 5 points. When you get to 3, which you'll definitely get here now. Potential pin, and when you're on the bottom, it's just taking a ton of strength to try to stay off the mat. Good referee movement this evening. And you know, once again, we have 2 referees. It's a championship match. And there's the pin by Robert Coleman of Northern versus Jeff McCumber from the Big Reds. And that will make the score 34-0 in favor of Northern as we move on to the 145-pound weight class, where Chad Hughes will wrestle Justin Miller from the Big Red country. Justin Miller, Big Reds. Chad Hughes, Northern. Moving right along here with these matches this evening. Once again, we started at 112, we'll end at 103, which is a little different than the good old days. But here's the single leg takedown. 2 for Northern. It's going right after him. But he's not in position. Well, now he is. It's kind of been no man's land there for a few moments. So if we can bring in some wrestling trivia here if we ever get a break. But right now it's just been smooth sailing for the Northern Huskies and rough water for the Big Reds. Let's see if they can change this tempo. He's got that leg right in there. It prevents you from getting too high as long as you don't let it slip out. Right now, Northern kind of having their way in this match. Difficult to get some back points here because the predicament he's in right now, but he did get 2. So we're at 6-0 according to the scoreboard in the first period with about 40 seconds left. A lot of energy being used on the bottom to try to keep from being pinned. Sometimes it's just a matter of time. See the referee's hand signaling up. He gave him 2 points for near fall, or back points as the case may be. And you see the referee with his hand saying that it's not past 90 degrees. And you see the half being slipped in there, but saved by the bell. So at the end of the first period, the score is 8-0 in favor of Northern. Chad Hughes is Northern's wrestler. And we got a timeout here for some blood on the lips. So we have an injury timeout. And they'll get a little Quitelet put on it, a little salve. They do a marvelous job with the trainer down there. She's right on top of everything, making sure that it's safe and all hygiene considerations are taken into practice. And so we're back. We're ready to go. Sure appreciate all the hard work the trainers do, being here and taking care of injuries and preventing injuries. So here we go. Northern jumps in with that leg ride. Got a partial half in right now. See what he's going to do with it. He hops over the other side. This will be tight. This will be tight. This is in there very tight. Oh, he slipped out of it. Oh! The referee said that that was a pin. So that's going to make the score 40 for Northern. And we move on into the 152-pound weight class where Colby Brooks, that's Colby Brooks for Northern, will wrestle Billy Hilliker for the Big Reds. It's Billy Hilliker for the Big Reds and Colby Brooks for Northern. Brooks fakes his leg, goes up top for that, what we'll call a bear hug. Trying to control that wrist. Remember earlier we talked about wrist control. Wrist control is a very important way of preventing the other wrestler from shooting on you. He's got him under, probably trying to lift him up if you can get underneath. It's always exciting to bring you these matches, ladies and gentlemen. We would really encourage you to come out and participate firsthand and see these matches. Just call the athletic department and find out exactly when the matches are. Many of them are Saturdays, some of them are dual meets, some of them are quad meets. So now we have 2-point takedown for Northern, and they're off the match. Just a note, the nonprofit organizations can advertise on Channel 6 Community Board free of charge. Just call 984-6621 for more information. That's 984-6621. And we'll see what's going to happen here. Big Red Wrestler tries to stand up, gets pulled back down. It's Billy Hilliker for the Big Reds on the bottom. Colby Brooks for Northern on top in a 152-pound weight class. The score of this individual match is 2-0. You are watching high school sports on PHHS Channel 6. Got a cradle here. See what way he's going to roll with it to make it work. Hilliker trying to grab that leg. And we move into the second period. Very competitive match, 2-0. Billy Hilliker for the Big Reds is down. Colby Brooks on top for Northern. Hilliker tried to stand up. Gets to his base. He does that quite well. See if he can get back up to it. Hilliker comes in on the right side, which means he's generally left-handed, unless he's practiced that. Brooks stands up, tried to stand up switch. Now he's got a portion of a not sure here. Good offensive moves there. Both of them trying to get that takedown. It looks like Hilliker's going to get 2 points for this. That should, well, no, he did not get to 2 points. But he does have a cradle. Brooks will try to break that by straightening his leg out, grabbing the other leg. Sometimes he can get an advantage if he can push back in and force the big red wrestler on his back. This is a predicament neither one of them like to be in here right now. Some real strength moves right there on behalf of both wrestlers. Bill Hilliker, good strength to hold him, and Colby Brooks, good strength to almost get a reversal there. Score is 3-2 in favor of Billy Hilliker. Colby stands up, tries to stand up switch. Hilliker lets it go. Will Colby get on top? Does he give him 2 points? Let's see here. Good move by Colby Brooks. Does get to 2 points. That'll make the score 4-3. We're in the second period. Second period of about 24 seconds to go. Hilliker's going to try a switch. Colby counters. You see the referee, his hand up and down, 90 degrees, perpendicular. That's what he's watching. Less than 90 degrees, potential points. Very, very competitive match. Scores 4-3 in favor of Colby Brooks of Northern against Billy Hilliker. Extremely competitive. This first move here could be critical for both wrestlers. We'll see what happens. Brooks has got the arm bar. So he's trying to get a wrist. There he's got a wrist. Hilliker pulls it away. Brooks lets go, tries to get a leg in. Does he have the leg in? Yes. He's going to try to get that arm back behind his head if he can. Hilliker, good stretch out move to distribute his weight. Two very strong wrestlers. 152-pound weight class. There's some points awarded. 3. The score is 7-3 in favor of Colby Brooks. He's trying to cradle here. It's a near side cradle. Hilliker wants to get his head out, but that'll be tough to do because Brooks may have a hold of it. So we're back to the center of the match with about 56 seconds to go. Score 7-3 in favor of Colby Brooks. Pleased to be able to bring you this match this evening. It's been my pleasure now for 20 years. It's a long time, guys. 20 years to be the voice of wrestling for the high school and Portnery School District, and I've enjoyed every minute of it and always learned something, as well as meet a lot of wonderful people. Brooks got that arm bar behind his back. He's going to try to hold it there and probably hook the chin underneath, which he may have. Drive him over. A lot of this is going to depend on whether they're off the mat or not, according to the referee. So yes, they are. But he does call him back to the center of the mat, and the score remains 7-3. Referee deemed that the match points, back points, were off the mat. Hilliker trying to And this match is finished, and no additional points were awarded, so the score is 7-3, and the team score moves on to 43 for Northern and 0 for the Big Red. So we'll move on into the 160-pound weight class, where it'll be Mike LaForge. That's Mike LaForge for the Big Reds and Alex Zondlak. Zondlak for Northern. Forge gets takedown here. No, referee says no. Good recover by Northern, a good offensive move by Big Reds. Shoots a single leg. Got a leg, got 2-point takedown. Score is 2-0. Well, let's see what the big wrestler will do. Will he stand up? No, he attempts to switch. Gets pulled back. When you do those switches, you've got to come hard with that elbow. Just really hard to get yourself some thrust. Raise up the core part of your body to get some leverage and come back around behind. It's a move that, if not done correctly, can put you in great harm's way, but if done correctly, can really be a salvation. Zondlak on top. Let's see what he's going to do here. He breaks him down a little bit, and he tries. He could roll through and get this, or we can't see too most. 3 points near fall for Zondlak. And the first period ends. We move on into the second period with the score 5-0. This is a 165-pound weight class. Special thank you to Chip Mossett on the PA system tonight, announcing the wrestlers. Makes it much easier for us to be accurate in the names, although sometimes things slip. But we really want to do a good job for the young men and give them the recognition they so deserve. Attempted a stand-up switch there. Referee says you got to work a little harder, boys. Score is 7-0. Zondlak in. Forge trying some good moves here. He may get a point for escape. He does. Referee says they're even. Needs to mount some offense here. But that's the beauty of wrestling. Even when you're so far behind, just one move, one slip, in 2 seconds, and you've won the match. The sport of sudden victory, sudden defeat. There's a single leg takedown into a cradle. Can he pull it through all the way? He lets it go, gets the ride. Now he'll work from here, trying to break down. There's an attempted switch. He'll follow through. And we're into the third period with a score 9-1 in favor of Zonlak. Mike LaForge for the Big Reds on top. Zonlak attempts to sit out and gets there and stops, in part because of LaForge countering the move. But LaForge is getting high, and now they're standing up, and he'll probably end up giving them 1 point, yes. And so he shoots and takedown after getting the one, but it doesn't work. Countered by LaForge. Zonlak up, may get shot at a single leg or a double leg here, the way it was positioning his body. Referee urging them on. Shucks the head, grabs the leg, goes behind underneath the arm. Gets 2 points for a takedown to make the score 12-1 according to the scoreboard. And he reaches under to try to get a hold of that arm. If he can do that, then he says they're out of bounds. About 42 seconds left, give or take a tad in this match. Really smoking through it this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And there's attempted switch. Nice move, but he got countered. He's going to try it again. He's very good at trying these switches. Have to give him credit. That's Mike LaForge. Good offensive move when you can do a switch. Also good counters by Alex Zonlak from Northern. Tremendous energy being expended under there, ladies and gentlemen. Just can't tell you how much it is unless you've actually had it happen to you. Wrestling, the sport of men. There's a switch. Oh, good tie. Good try by Mike LaForge. So, very competitive match. We'll move on to 171-pound weight class, with the score being 47-0 in favor of Northern, where we will have Dan Grinnell, that's Dan Grinnell for the Big Reds, and Dan Seaman. Once again, 171-pound weight class, ladies and gentlemen. Good aggressive match so far. It's Grinnell. It's Grinnell for Port Huron High and Seaman for Northern. Jockeying for position into there. Each wrestler has their own preference of where they'd like their arms. There's a good old-fashioned bear hug. Will he work it? Nope. Out of bounds. Here we go. There's your bear hug. There's your what we call a silver bullet. It's a headlock over the hip. It's a throw. Different names, different teams, but it's still the same effective hold. It's an excellent offensive as well as counter move, and it looks like Seaman has this in pretty tight. Certainly going to get some back points here. He's not in perfect position, but he's in, so it's going to be tight, and he could get it because he's lifting up, wants to lift up that head to push the back shoulder blades down. Referee's right there. He says, yes, it is. So Seaman picks up 6 points. That's 16 points. We now move into the 189-pound weight class where Austin Pickering, that's Austin Pickering for Northern, and Glenn Hartman for the Big Reds. Hartman for the Big Reds, Pickering Huskies. Pickering tried to throw. Hartman on top gets 2 points. Pickering reaches through, grabs the leg, falls backwards on top of Hartman. Hartman forced to let go. Pickering on top gets a reversal. The score is 3-2. Good moves by both wrestlers. Some of the better offensive moves we've seen this evening from both wrestlers. This is not where Pickering wants to be, potentially dangerous hold according to the referee, so we'll start again. It's Hartman down, Pickering on top. Score is 3-2 in favor of Pickering. Stand-up cradle tried there. Hartman trying to rip those hands off to get an escape. Pickering bear hubs him back over his shoulder. Down he goes. Hartman doing a very nice job so far. Pickering working on that cradle with a leg ride. Things change so fast that you see them and then they're gone and you're back into something else. This could be a tough hold right here. It'd be tough to get out of because Pickering's got his body in pretty decent position. And all he's got to do is hold on, where Hartman's really got to spend some energy to get out of there and see if he can do it. Pickering trying to pull him back on the match. 3-point near fall. And the scoreboard says 6-2 in favor of Pickering at Northern. Hartman chooses down. Pickering trying to cradle. Now he's going to maybe try a banana split. Now he goes back to the cradle. And now he's just going to try to cross face him. Pickering got that leg right in there. Could be a scissors. Sometimes shift from a scissor to a grapevine to a figure four. Some probable back points here. Got that half in there. It's going to work it. As you sink one hold tighter or part of the hold tighter, you frequently have to loosen up on the other part to let the wrestler roll through. And that's what happened there. But you don't want to let them roll too far through. So here we are. This is going to be pretty tight, pretty hard to get out of. The referee is right there to see it. Once again, we have two referees because this is a championship. Pickering has pretty good position. You notice he's on his toes. This is just like one of those anaconda or python holds where it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's very difficult to get out of. Good bridge by Hartman, but there's the pin for Pickering. So that makes the score 59-0. We now move on to the 215-pound weight class. And nice roll through. Good offensive moves by each one. We've not had an announcement as to who they are. We believe it to be Nate Bricker for Northern and Billy James for the Big Reds. We have an announcement that was Nate Bricker for Northern and James Billy. It's James Billy for the Big Reds. Billy on top. Bricker switching out here. Can he move it? Gets a reversal. Score should be 2-2 now. Possible back points, and there's a pin for Nate Bricker over James Billy in 215-pound weight class. And Northern continues to move along here with another 6 points to make it 65 for Northern. We'll move to the 285-pound weight class, where Alex Gaglio for Northern will wrestle Jason Hoogerhide. Hoogerhide on the offense here, trying to get a throw. Gaglio trying to counter, and does. Referee says they're out of bounds. It's Bricker for Northern and Hoogerhide for PH. This is the largest of the weight classes. There used to be an unlimited, but that was deemed not an appropriate thing to do. It did not provide the kind of athleticism and the kind of nutritional approach to what they wanted to see in wrestling. There's Hoogerhide with the silver bullet headlock. They're off the mat, no points. Once again, this is Channel 6 coming to you from the Portland Area School District. There's a single leg takedown by Gaglio. 2-point takedown. Get those legs in, and he's going for the pin here. Hoogerhide does not want that to happen, and he's working hard here to prevent that from happening. Gaglio not in the position he wants to be, but neither is Hoogerhide. He's going to have to loosen it a little bit in order to make it work, but it will probably get at least 2 points for a near fall here. If Hoogerhide could get his leg loose and posted, he could push backwards and get some points off Gaglio's back. But Gaglio's very much in control here right now. Got himself raised up on his elbow. Now he's back down, but now he's back up on the elbow. That's where he wants. And he does receive 3 points for a near fall. That makes the score 7-0 according to the scoreboard. We have only one match left, ladies and gentlemen. Just one match left. We're really moving along here this evening. Hoogerhide for the Big Reds and Gaglio for Northern. Hoogerhide tries a headlock takedown. Gaglio slips out of it and reverses it. Goes back into a pin hold. So he's going to get that 2 points to make it 9-0. And now he may get some back points. This is a more favorable position for Gaglio and less favorable for Hoogerheide, and there's the pin. So Northern continues to move along here with a score of 71. And we move on to the big little guys. The big little guys, that's 103 pounds, where Port Huron High has a void. And Ryan Bostwick will pick up the win. There's the raising of the arm for the victory. So the team score ends up 77-0 in favor of Northern. We'd like to say thank you for listening. We invite you to come out and see any of the matches anytime. Just call the athletic office and get the schedule. It's been my pleasure to be with you this wrestling season. I'm Bob Beaton, your broadcaster, and I just enjoy doing it so much. And once again, a special thank you to Carl Staffhorst and E.J. Shea, the guys behind the scenes that make it all happen. They're like the linemen that open the hole for the running backs. E.J. and I were talking about that earlier. So they're the big boys. We just hit the opening. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been my pleasure. This is Bob Beaton saying good night.